Everyone is telling you he doesn't care. Your friends are saying it. That little voice in your head is saying it. And honestly, you're starting to believe it. Because look at the evidence. He barely texts. He acts distant. He runs hot and cold. He pulls away right when things feel close. So yeah, obviously he doesn't care. That's what it looks like. That's what makes sense. But what if everything you think you know about this is completely wrong? What if the guy who looks like he doesn't care is actually the one who can't stop thinking about you? What if that distance, that coldness, that confusing push and pull behavior, what if that's not him being checked out? What if that's what it actually looks like when a man is completely obsessed with you and has no idea what to do about it? I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like I'm just saying what you want to hear, but stay with me, because once you see what I'm about to show you, you will never misread a man again. Here's the thing nobody talks about. When a guy is casually into someone, when it's just surface level, when he doesn't really care how it goes, he's easy. He texts back fast. He makes plans. He's relaxed and confident and smooth. You know why? Because he has nothing to lose. She doesn't really matter to him, so there's no pressure. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, he moves on without a second thought. No stress, no overthinking, just easy, breezy, nothing at stake. But when a man actually starts catching real feelings for you, when you start becoming someone he thinks about when he's doing other stuff, when he's at work or driving or trying to sleep and you just pop into his head, everything changes. He gets nervous. He starts second guessing himself. Every little thing he does around you suddenly feels like it matters. He starts worrying about coming on too strong. He starts worrying about not doing enough. He starts feeling like you have power over him and that feeling scares him. So what does he do? He pulls back. He plays it cool. He acts like he doesn't care because acting like he doesn't care feels safer than letting you see how far gone he actually is. And here's the part that messes women up the most. The more obsessed he is, the worse he acts. Because the more he thinks about you, the more nervous he gets. The more nervous he gets, the more he pulls back. The more he pulls back, the more it looks like he doesn't care. But it's not that he doesn't care. It's that he cares so much he doesn't know what to do with it. So while you're sitting there thinking he's not interested, he's sitting there completely consumed by thoughts of you. You just don't know it yet. Let me show you how to see it. The first sign he's obsessed with you is that he acts completely different around you than he does with everyone else. This is one of the biggest signs, and most women completely miss it. Watch how he is with other people. He's relaxed. He's funny. He jokes around. He's comfortable. He talks normally. Now watch how he is the second you walk into the room or into the conversation. Something changes. Maybe he gets quiet when he's normally loud. Maybe he tries way too hard to be funny when he's normally chill. Maybe he gets awkward and stiff when he was just relaxed 2 seconds ago. Maybe he can't look at you for more than a second before looking away. His whole energy shifts when you're around and you can feel it even if you can't explain it. Women see this and think, he doesn't like me, he's totally fine with everyone else, but he acts weird with me. But that's exactly backwards. He acts weird with you because you're the one he's obsessed with. If you didn't matter to him, he'd treat you exactly like he treats everyone else, easy and relaxed and normal. The fact that he can't be normal around you means you're the one in his head. A guy is only nervous around the girl he actually cares about. Everyone else gets the relaxed version. You get the version that's trying too hard to hold it together because you're the one he can't stop thinking about. The second sign is that he goes quiet on text, but you know he's seen your message. You send him something, you can see he read it. Or you just know he's been on his phone because everyone's always on their phone. But he doesn't reply. 20 minutes go by, an hour, sometimes longer. And when he finally does reply, it's short, like he wasn't thinking about it at all. Meanwhile, you can see he's been active online. So he's clearly not busy. He just didn't reply to you. Here's what's actually happening. He saw your message the second it came in. He read it immediately. And then he sat there staring at it. He started typing something and deleted it. He typed something else and deleted that too. He put his phone down because he didn't want to seem too desperate, then picked it back up 2 minutes later and started typing again. He rewrote that reply over and over, trying to figure out the right thing to say, trying to figure out if this sounds too keen or not keen enough, trying to figure out if he should wait longer before sending or if waiting is making it weird. The guy who is not obsessed with you replies in about 5 seconds with whatever comes to mind because it doesn't matter. But the guy who is completely gone on you treats every single text like it's a test he needs to pass. That delay isn't him not caring. That's him caring so much that he's overthinking every single word. Slow text from the wrong guy means nothing. Slow text from the guy who goes weird around you and remembers everything you say, that's obsession, hiding in plain sight. The third sign is that he remembers tiny little things you said weeks ago. You're talking about something completely random and he brings up this small detail you mentioned like a month ago, something you don't even remember telling him. You mentioned once that you hate a certain kind of food. He remembers. You told him some random story about something that happened at work 3 weeks ago. He brings it up and asks how it turned out. You mentioned once that you wanted to go to some specific place someday. He not only remembered the place, he remembered exactly how you said it. Women hear this and think, oh, that's sweet. He listens well. No, you don't understand what this actually means. Guys forget things constantly. They forget important stuff. They forget things you told them yesterday. But this guy is remembering tiny little throwaway details you mentioned one time in passing. That doesn't happen because he has a great memory. That happens because everything you say stays with him. That happens because your conversations replay in his head later. That happens because he's thought about what you said multiple times since you said it. You're not just someone he talks to and forgets. You're someone whose words stick with him long after the conversation is over. And that only happens when someone cannot stop thinking about you. The fourth sign is that he gets weird the second you mention another guy. You're not flirting. You're not trying to make him jealous. You're literally just telling a story that happens to involve a guy from work or a guy friend or just some random guy you saw somewhere. Doesn't matter. The second that other guy comes up, something shifts in him. He gets quiet, he makes some short comment, he changes the subject. He acts like he doesn't care, but something in his whole energy tightens up. And you can feel it even if he never says a word. That is jealousy. That is him sitting there hating the idea of you paying attention to someone else. That is him picturing you with another guy and not being able to handle it, even though he has no claim on you whatsoever. If he wasn't obsessed with you, hearing about other guys would do absolutely nothing to him. He'd just listen and move on. No reaction, nothing. But he reacts because in his head, you're already his, even if he hasn't said it out loud yet. He's already territorial over you. He's already thinking about you in a way that makes the idea of someone else being in the picture genuinely bother him. That weird little shift when another guy gets mentioned is him showing you exactly how much you're on his mind, even when he's trying his hardest to hide it. The fifth sign is that he keeps showing up where you are. You mention you're going somewhere and somehow he ends up there too. You're at some place and he just happens to show up. He keeps appearing in your orbit and making it look like coincidence. Like, oh, I was already thinking of going there. Oh, crazy. I didn't know you'd be here. It's always casual. Always. Like it just happened. It didn't just happen. He is creating reasons to be near you without having to come out and say, I want to see you. Because saying that directly means showing his hand, means admitting he thinks about you. So instead, he engineers these little run-ins and plays them off like they're random. But they're not random. A guy who isn't obsessed with you doesn't track where you're going to be. He doesn't rearrange his day to end up in the same place as you. He doesn't manufacture coincidences. But a guy who cannot stop thinking about you, he will find any excuse to get near you while acting like it just happened to work out that way. Watch for this one. It's one of the clearest signs there is. The sixth sign is that he suddenly has an attitude with you for no reason you can figure out. He seems irritated, he's short with you, he's giving you one-word answers and a vibe that feels like you did something wrong even though you didn't do anything. So you think, okay, he's clearly not into me. Why would someone who liked me act annoyed at me? Here's the real answer. You stress him out, not because you're too much or because you've done something wrong, but because you make him feel things he hasn't figured out how to deal with yet. You make him nervous. You make him lose his cool. You throw him off, and he hates feeling off balance like that. So that feeling comes out sideways as frustration. He's not actually annoyed at you. He's annoyed at himself for being so gone on you. He's annoyed that you walk in and his whole head goes sideways. He's annoyed that he can't just be normal and relaxed the way he is with people who don't matter to him. And because he can't direct that frustration at himself, it looks like it's aimed at you. That attitude isn't rejection. That's a man struggling with the fact that you've gotten completely under his skin and he doesn't know what to do about it. The seventh sign is that he watches everything you post but never hits like. You put something up and he doesn't react, doesn't like it, doesn't comment, nothing. So you figure he's not even looking. But then later he mentions something you posted, or you check who's seen your story and his name is sitting right there. Every time. He's watching everything. He's checking your page, he's keeping up with your life through your posts. He just refuses to leave any evidence of it. Because liking your stuff means admitting he's paying attention. Commenting means putting himself out there. Engaging means giving you something to notice. So he watches in complete silence. He keeps up with everything you're doing without letting you know he's doing it. The guy who isn't obsessed with you doesn't spend time scrolling through your profile. He doesn't check your stories the second they go up. He doesn't keep tabs on your life. But the guy who is, he's watching every single thing. He knows exactly what you've been up to. He just makes sure you can't tell. The 8th sign is that his friends act strange when you're around them. They give each other looks. They smile like there's an inside joke you're not in on. They seem weirdly interested in talking to you or watching how he acts near you. Maybe one of them says something that sounds like a reference to something you'd have no context for. Women usually brush this off or feel confused by it. But what it means is one simple thing. He has talked about you a lot. Guys don't go around telling their friends about every girl they interact with. They mention girls casually and move on. But when a guy is genuinely obsessed with someone, when someone is actually living in his head, it comes out. He asks his friends what he should do. He brings you up in conversations where you don't even need to come up. He talks about you enough that his friends already know who you are before they've even properly met you. So when they finally see you in person, they're curious. They're watching. They already have a picture of you from everything he's said. That weird energy from his friends isn't random. That's you walking into a room full of people who've been hearing about you for weeks. The 9th sign is that he pulls back hardest right after a moment where things felt really good between you. You had a really easy, natural conversation, or a night where the connection felt real and obvious. Or just a moment where it felt like things were finally clicking and you're thinking, okay, we're moving somewhere good now. And then he goes quiet, he pulls back, he's suddenly distant again. And you're sitting there completely confused because things were good. Things were really good. And now it's like you imagined the whole thing. You didn't imagine it. That good moment scared him. He felt what you felt. And feeling it made everything suddenly real, made his feelings real, made the possibility of actually losing you real. And that freaked him out. So his instinct is to create distance, to cool it down before it gets too intense, to get back in control of something that started feeling out of his control. That pullback isn't him losing interest after a good moment. That's him panicking because that good moment showed him how much he actually has on the line. He's obsessed with you. That moment just reminded him of it. And instead of moving toward you the way you hoped, he ran in the other direction because he didn't know what else to do with that feeling. The 10th sign is that he shows up for you in what he does, even when his words give you nothing. He doesn't say sweet things. He doesn't tell you he misses you. He doesn't say anything that sounds remotely like feelings out loud. So you think he doesn't feel anything, but then you're going through something hard and he checks in. You mention you're stressed and he actually asks about it later. You need something and he comes through. He remembers something that matters to you and brings it up. He does all these little things that show he's paying attention even when his words are saying absolutely nothing. Words are easy. Guys say nice things to girls they're not serious about all the time. But showing up takes thought. Remembering takes thought. Checking in when you didn't ask them to takes thought. That only happens when someone is on your mind enough that you actually notice when they need something. He's not saying it because saying it out loud makes it real, and real is scary. But he can't stop himself from doing it because that's where his head is at. Every single one of those little actions is proof he's thinking about you constantly. He just hasn't found the words yet, or the courage. The 11th sign is that he gets defensive when you point out his mixed signals. You finally say something. You bring up the fact that he's been confusing, distant, hot and cold. You ask him what's actually going on. And instead of just answering you honestly, he acts like you're being dramatic. He says you're reading into things. He makes you feel like you're the problem for noticing. And you think, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I am imagining things. Maybe I should just drop it. Don't drop it. That defensiveness isn't proof you're wrong. That defensiveness is proof you hit exactly the right nerve. If he genuinely didn't care, if you genuinely meant nothing to him, he would just say that calmly and clearly. It would be easy for him. No feelings involved. But he's not calm. He's getting worked up. He's deflecting. He's making it about you being too sensitive rather than him being hard to read. That reaction only happens when someone is backed into a corner about feelings they haven't sorted out yet. He's not defending against nothing. He's defending against the truth. And the truth is, he's far more gone on you than he's been willing to admit. The 12th sign is that he comes back every time. No matter how distant he gets or how cold things feel for a stretch, he comes back. He reaches out, he shows up again. He finds some reason to reconnect. Could be something small, could be random, but it keeps happening and you keep waiting for him to just disappear for good and he never does. That's not an accident. That's not him just being bored or having nothing better to do. A man who isn't obsessed with you doesn't keep circling back. He moves on without much thought. He doesn't keep finding his way back into your world. But a man who cannot get you out of his head, he always comes back. Because even when he tries to create distance, even when he tells himself he's going to cool it, he still ends up back in your orbit. He can't help it. You're in his head. And eventually that pulls him back in every single time. So here's what you actually do with all of this. First, stop letting his distance convince you of something it isn't saying. Distance from the wrong guy means nothing. Distance from a guy who hits every single sign on this list means something completely different. Start reading the full picture instead of just one piece of it. Second, watch what he does way more than what he says or doesn't say. His actions are telling you exactly where his head is at. The remembering, the showing up, the checking in, the coming back. That's the real information. That's what's actually true. Third, don't chase him when he pulls back. If he's pulling away because his feelings got too real and he got scared, chasing him makes it worse. Give him the space to work through it. Let him come back to you when he's ready. And he will come back. They always come back. Fourth, keep living your life fully. Don't sit around waiting and wondering and obsessing over whether he's thinking about you. Go do things. Be happy. Be genuinely busy and engaged in your own life. Because that does two things at once. It stops you from going crazy with the waiting. And it reminds him of exactly why he can't get you out of his head in the first place. Fifth, trust what you've been sensing. You felt like something was there. You kept noticing these things, even when everyone around you was telling you you were imagining it. You weren't imagining it. You were picking up on something real. Trust that. Here's the honest truth about all of this. A man who isn't obsessed with you is actually pretty simple to read. He's consistent. He either makes an effort or he doesn't. He either shows up or he doesn't. Clean and clear. But a man who is completely consumed by thoughts of you, he's a mess. He's confusing. He runs hot and cold. He moves toward you and then retreats. He shows you everything in his actions and nothing in his words. He acts completely fine with everyone else and completely weird with you. And most women walk away from these men because the confusion feels too much like rejection. But sometimes the confusion is the whole point. Sometimes the man acting the strangest is the one feeling the most. Sometimes the distance is just fear with nowhere else to go. I'm not telling you to wait around forever for someone to figure himself out. I'm not telling you to excuse behavior that genuinely hurts you. I'm telling you to understand what you're actually looking at before you decide what to do about it. Because now you can see it clearly. He's lying awake thinking about you. He's watching everything you post. He's rewriting texts to you 5 times before he sends them. He's getting in his feelings the second another guy's name comes up. He keeps finding ways to be near you. He keeps coming back. He's obsessed with you. He just hasn't said it yet. But everything he does is saying it for him. And now you know exactly how to hear it.